Thanks to everyone for coming back to check out these Wednesdays with Willie educational videos. I hope you enjoyed the first snare drum video last week about tuning. And those of you that sent some comments or emails, I promise I will do those videos and I appreciate you participating. For today, I'm going to continue with the concert snare drumming topic, and we're going to talk about performing consistent dynamics throughout a piece of music. No piece of music is going to have one steady dynamic. So I do three ways to approach this. First, when I get the piece of music, I will get away from the instrument, study it at a table while I'm eating or drinking coffee. Either way, and I'll identify the phrases and the markings. The first thing I will do is use a color scheme to delineate the dynamics. So for today, we're going to be using the first of Delécluse's 12 Etudes that most of us playing this instrument, concert snare drum, really know well. And so you'll find that there are only three dynamic markings. The first is piano, and then we go to Mezzo Forte, and then finally Forte. So I'll have three different colors for those markings to help my eyes focus on that. The second thing I will do is I will practice the specific dynamic markings, those phrases, consecutively. So what I will do is go in and play all of the piano dynamic markings consecutively. I'll go back in Mezzo Forte, Forte, etc. And the reason I'm doing this is to develop muscle memory. What does playing piano feel like? What does playing Mezzo Forte feel like? What does playing Forte feel like? So I have this kinesthetic approach when I encounter that passage that I know how it feels. That it's not just that I'm guessing that I'm playing softer, that I'm playing softer than Mezzo Forte, that I'm playing softer than Forte, that I've spent some time manipulating my hands to adapt to that dynamic. And the third thing is that I'm going to use some kind of software to allow me to visually gauge how consistent I am with the dynamics. So a few weeks ago, I did a video of me working on my one-handed multiple bounce strokes, and I was using the third movement of Scheherazade as that example. And you can check that out here. And by the way of seeing that, you'll notice the waveforms, and you can see if I'm consistent or not. So I've used GarageBand and Logic. You can also use Audacity as a great option, as well as multiple apps that you can download for your tablet or your smartphone. Again, for today's exercises, we're going to be using the first of Delécluse's 12 Etudes. And after you look at the initial score, you can see how I've color-coded it. And that helps me to identify those sections. So that's the first thing I would do. Now that we have our sections delineated by color with their respective dynamics, I'm going ahead and move to the second approach. And this is going to be working on muscle memory. So I'm going to figure out a way to practice these sections by dynamic marking. So I will first start with the piano. I like to start softly, and then I'll go to Mezzo Forte and Forte. You know, we spend a lot of time with muscle memory with technical exercises. Downstroke, upstroke, double beat, double beat, double beat, triple beat. We spend a lot of time developing all of these skill sets. We need to transfer that repetition of muscle memory into the music. So again, when I'm going to run through these examples, I'm going to record today with Logic, and then I will put the waveforms up at the end so you can see these. Again, I will start with the piano dynamic markings of this first etude. I will go into the Mezzo Forte markings, and then Forte markings. I'll play it first, and then follow it up with the waveform. that these three approaches to working on dynamic consistency for a piece of music or an etude, color coding, muscle memory, and audio wave reference, will aid you in your dynamic consistency in your practice. I'd love to know if it works for you. It's worked for me, and I'm hoping that some of this information can help you. Hope these comments have been helpful to you, and please leave some comments if you'd like to see anything else as we're going along.